Yo, welcome to the EdTechWorld.org podcast. As you can see, we're still looking for the right intro music. If you have any suggestions, feel free to shout out. Maybe we should stop rapping next time or something like that. Anyways, welcome to a new podcast here for EdTechWorld.org. This time with a friend of mine. Her name is Anny. She will introduce herself in a moment. One of the smartest people I know, and no kidding, I mean it. So I'm super glad she's here. And she's going to talk about education technology, a little bit about also like educational system here in Thailand and what we can learn from the rest of the world and ASEAN in particular. So Annie, let's go.
First of all, thank you so much for giving me this chance. It's fun.
Why do you put into quotation marks chance?
Because it's special.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very special occasion for you and I and have this talk about education. My name's Anny. I work as a sales and business development in information technology industry, and that's my passion is about IT. Yeah.
Right. So then, why are we talking about education?
Because my personal passion is education. I have been having this very strong interest about education or learning. So in my free time, I would do some stuff or attend some event or reading or research about education.
Okay. Yeah. Where does it come from? The interest?
I think my personality is that I'm a curious person and I always want to learn. Yeah, I think it makes me interested in the process of learning,
right,
which involves education.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I asked you to join me, right? Because we talked about education before.
Yes. And also, I think right now I'm very interested in EdTech.
Right.
It's a combination of technology and education.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's briefly stay with like education per se, because I remember our first talk when we first met about education, and since we focus on like Thailand or ASEAN for that matter, like what's your experience with education here?
I can say very intense, but we have problem here. I personally think that we have education problem here in Thailand, and it should be addressed.
So that's what you're doing right now?
Yes. I and you and a group of my friends were having this, like for example, Startup Weekend to maybe like helping the education or learning process in Thailand.
So without like hating on someone or bashing someone, but like what are some main issues in education?
The main issue would be their education system. The system itself has the problem. I think it's not quite effective, and I think like in my age, my personal experience, I feel like education system right now has become like a manufacturer industry where everything is standard. But think of, children are not the same, they're diverse, like they have different ability to learn. So standard education does not match with the resource that we have. You cannot teach students the same thing.
Right.
Students are very diverse and different. So you cannot just insert the information without teaching or make them learn how to think or how to solve the problem.
Right. I agree, and I'm on the other side, or I've been on the other side, so I totally agree with that. But you actually you went through Thai educational system, right?
Yes.
So, and since you're one of the smartest people I know, how did you actually then manage to learn or develop your skills? If you say it's all process.
It's a system. Like you go in the morning and sing an anthem, national anthem. Go to class. The teacher would teach you like literally 1 hour, and you just lecture all day.
Exactly.
And I think the system had taught the students to be afraid of making mistake,
Right.
because the feedback is going to be either you're right or you're wrong.
Yes.
But I don't agree with that idea. I mean, it's more of being right or wrong. It's about thinking, and problem solving.
What brought you to the point?
How I survive for that system
Exactly.
is that I'm kind of a hacker,
Okay.
and I try to see things and observe, and I try to learn from what I look, from what I see, from what I read, from what it is. So at the school, while the teacher giving the lecture, I would ask some questions, and the teacher would say something like, "This is right" or "This is wrong." So I was kind of disappointed, and so when I come at the class, so I would just sit there and listen to the teacher, and after the classroom, I would go to the library and read the books and research online on the internet and build or connect my own community. To, for example, I was very interested in computer literacy, so I made friends over the internet and then learn about something over the internet. Or I would read many books and have my own book club so that I can discuss anything with other friends.
So, but it came all like more or less like from yourself, the motivation to do it, not from school.
It's more like a self-learning. Yeah.
Okay.
And I read a lot of books that are not in a classroom.
Right.
So to me, I just feel like I want to read.
Right.
I'm so curious about this, and I want to read everything.
Yeah, I follow you on Goodreads. I know how much you read.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like the book that the teacher assigned us to
Right.
read, but it's good to like to know.
But now I sound like an old person, but kids these days don't read anymore. So how do we get them to do that?
We have.
I sound so old now.
No, that's a problem to solve too. I think we need to create the culture to encourage not only kids but also everybody to read. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we do that?
That's a problem.
Someone's listening. How can we do that?
I think, well, I would say I would want to address, giving an example.
Yeah.
My brother, he's like 10 years old, and he always see me reading.
Right.
I never tell him to read, but he always see me reading, and he's like, I think that's makes him
Want to read.
being a curious person. Like,
right.
Annie, what are you reading? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think to encourage people or to influence people.
Leading by example.
Yes, being an example.
Okay, yeah. So people read more.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think reading makes you a better person. It's not just being like reading like fiction.
Right.
Or I mean, it's not just reading non-fiction makes you smarter, but I think both fiction or non-fiction
Right.
makes you a better person, or have
Right, I agree.
different ideas about certain things.
Right. The funny thing is, like when I do this podcast, and now you're the third person that I talk to, we all find like different aspects in real life outside of education that
Yes.
actually influence education. I had it with one of my students, and she said like she learned like her English skills and some social skills and whatever, and she played like online role games, for example. But you just have to approach it like the right. Now I use quotation marks, the right way. Because if you just go there and like, I want to kill people, that doesn't work. But I go there to solve like a problem, and then you figure out how to do it. And then you might be able to use it in real life. Same with reading books.
Yes.
You don't just read it because you have to,
Yes.
but because you want to know something, because you're curious, and
Yes.
like your brother.
Like for example, myself, I never been to any international school, or I never studied abroad.
Wouldn't believe it, yeah?
But I think this accent, or I am being able to speak English because I read so much, and when I try to, improve my conversational skills, I just speak it out. I just talk to Korean in English without being afraid of, am I gonna, say something wrong, or bad grammar or anything. Firstly, I just want to communicate with people in English, and I keep reading and reading and reading, and I think that's awesome.
I'm awesome.
Well, yeah.
I can't help, but I'm awesome.
Well, some people would, spend a lot of money to study abroad, to go for better school to teach themselves how to speak English. But I didn't go to any, and I just.
It's all out there. You just need to try it, right?
Self-learning.
Just do it. Yeah, exactly.
It's self-learning.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, so we need more self-motivation and education. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Since you mentioned you're in the IT and into EdTech as well, right? And since we just had the Startup Weekend, why did you join the Startup Weekend team? Because Anny also was in the team to organize it for free, no payment. So why did you do that?
Firstly, I just might ask me, and I just say yes immediately because I'm just curious, and then I want to explore. I want to learn more about this event or whatever.
Right.
Because firstly, it's about technology and education. To me, yes. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know what it is, but I say yes first. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to know.
Okay. So did you learn something? Did you see something cool?
I have learned a lot, especially about the startup process. And look at it organizing way. I have met a lot of cool people, including you, Mike and Paul and Jay and Cham and Wave.
Don't forget someone now; they're gonna be angry.
No, I have learned a lot from our teams, and during the process, I keep observe people and see and think and having them as my teacher, and I learn from them, how to organize, and in the event, I have learned the process of doing a startup in 3 days, and that's helped me a lot to see the bigger world of startup.
Yeah. That sounds so nice. We should have that as a commercial next time for the next event.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree. So many people with so many ideas, and then somehow working together and creating something.
This is also it's like a classroom out of classroom.
Right. Yes. And it's intense. Just for the people listening, it's cool and awesome, but it's also intense.
It's very intense.
I saw lots of fights within the teams, or disagreements, but at the end they all put it aside, so which is awesome.
Yes.
But you have to go through that.
That's one of the most important things that I have learned is that how to collaborate.
Exactly.
Either in a team or either I was observing each team in the event and watching them collaborating and making an awesome project.
Right. Yeah. So now that you have your educational background settled and we know you're in EdTech and you learn so much during the hashtag Swedo ASEAN. Now EdTech in Thailand. What's is it there? Do we have cool EdTech stuff here? Or what's missing? Because this podcast is on EdTechWorld, so we're talking about
I don't know. I cannot say because I don't have enough data to support my idea. But I personally think that we still have the problem, technology problem in education industry. I think one of the major issue is that educators in Thailand need digital literacy practice, like the teachers need to have this teaching with education because they can integrate the technology because right now it's a digital age. It's not same old school. The teacher needs to integrate technology to education to learning process. So to integrate